Hey everybody, it's Molly with All Ears, and I am here today with a brand new challenge, and this is a tough one, friends. This may be the hardest one we've ever done. We are going to try and do all 15 thrill rides across all 4 Walt Disney World parks in just one day. That means we got to deal with rise of resistance boarding groups, park hopping restrictions. I truly don't know if it will be possible, but we're going to have fun trying. We're going to talk about the thrill rides along the way. I hope you're ready. I hope you're excited. We got a lot to do. Starting off the day at Hollywood Studios, it used to be that you could get to the park about an hour, 45 minutes early. They'd open up the toll plaza and actually start letting people into the park, and the rides would be operating almost an hour before the posted park opening. But as you can see, that's not the case anymore. The park opens at 9 today. I was going through the toll plaza at 8:15. It is now a little bit before 8:30, and we are waiting in a line. Cast member said they usually open them around 8:30-ish, but there's no guarantee. Again, the park doesn't officially open until 9, so we're here early. We got a lot to get done. It's 8:30 and we have started moving forward, so always remember, pack those patient pants. Be patient with the cast members getting you in, be patient with the other guests. And also, when you get through the toll plazas, there's more turnstiles, so make sure you look around, because a lot of people will just continue to stay in the line they're in, but you can often find a shorter line if you look to your left or your right. But like probably most of these people, we're gonna try and go to Slinky Dog Dash first, so we don't have time to be here all day. Normally I say to rope drop Sunset or rope drop Smugglers and then save Slinky for later, but later, we're not gonna be here. We are in the park, and you might be wondering, hey Molly, why are you starting at Hollywood Studios, not Animal Kingdom, which opened an hour earlier? You kind of gotten an hour jump on this and written Flight of Passage already. Well friends, that is a great question, and that's because Rise of the Resistance is on my list today. And you may know that in order to ride Rise of the Resistance, you have to get a boarding group. And in order to get a boarding group, you have to have a Hollywood Studios Park Pass reservation. So we're starting in Hollywood, which I think is actually a great place to start, because there are 5 different thrill rides we have to ride here. That's a lot of thrill rides in one spot. That is actually the most of any one park. So we've got to get to Slinky Dog Dash, Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, Hope My Rise of the Resistance boarding group gets called, and ride Millennium Falcon, Smugglers Run, all before we can park hop at 2. That's my goal. So, can we do it? I, like many people, am headed to Toy Story Land to start this bad boy off. I did get up nice and early and get a Rise of the Resistance boarding group. I believe I'm group 31, which is very low. You will need to get a boarding group if you want to ride Rise at 7 a.m. or 1 p.m. 7 a.m. from anywhere, 1 p.m. inside the park. Either place, either time, you need to have a Hollywood Studios Park Pass reservation. So that is for sure the most popular ride in all of Walt Disney World, and you are at the fate of the boarding group. So let's hope my boarding group gets called early, and the ride doesn't have any technical issues, which it often does. All right, we are working it into Toy Story Land. There are people already on Slinky Dog Dash, which is awesome, because it's a little after 8:30. We just got let in the park and they're already loading. So I think we're gonna be able to knock out one ride at least before the park official open time, which is great. And it's not very crowded once we got in here. It was definitely congested at the front of the park, but it's not crowded now that we're in here. It is a very slow time of year right now, which I think may be my only saving grace on this challenge, because with the park hopping restrictions, with no Fast Pass Plus, no Genie Plus yet, no way to skip these lines, and I can't leave till 2. There's a lot of things working against us, but we'll do our best. Slinky Dog Dash is that super adorable kid and family coaster in Toy Story Land. It's a 38-inch height requirement. A lot of people say it's overrated, which I think is rude. I'm sure if you wait in a really long line in the sun, it would not be as fun, but right now we are moving, we are grooving, and I think getting to Hollywood Studios early, I did a whole video about the worst things you can do at Hollywood Studios, and one of them is sleeping in, and I think right now we're seeing why. We are moving through Slinky Dog. The posted wait was 20 coming in this early, but I am almost on the ride as it stands. It was definitely not anywhere near 20. I would say closer to 8 minutes So while I couldn't get in as early as you could before, I still recommend definitely getting here as early, getting in line at the main entrance, and then scooting over to either Slinky Dog, Millennium Falcon, or down Sunset first, because this is definitely a park with a lot of attractions you don't want to miss. But we're almost on our first ride. One down, 14 to go. The line already is going all the way down this way. So I definitely think we made the right decision rope dropping Slinky Dog. I definitely recommend either rope dropping Slinky Dog, or my favorite time that I highly recommend is riding this one in the evening before the park closes, because this whole land looks awesome lit up at night with all the lights and everything. I will be rating each attraction on 2 different scales, the Molly's Fun scale and the Thrill scale. So Slinky Dog, we're going to give about a 2.5 on the Thrill scale. It's not super duper thrilling. It is a family coaster, but it is still a lot of fun, which means on the Molly Fun scale, we're going to give it about a 4. Yeah, I think a 4 is good because it's a very cute attraction. It's very fun. I love the theming, and I think it's a lovely coaster. Next stop, we are headed down Sunset Boulevard to knock out 2 more major attractions. We've got the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster. These are definitely 2 of the most popular rides in Disney World. I definitely think rope dropping this way isn't a bad idea either. However, they have increased capacity since we've done a lot of our wait time experiments earlier, a couple months ago. They weren't loading everything to full capacity, and they are now. They've been doing that for a few weeks, probably months at this point. What is time? Anyway, that we cannot get into that. So I think actually your best bet is to rope drop Millennium Falcon or Slinky if you don't plan on staying here later in the day, and then coming over here, because Tower of Terror will sit around usually under an hour now, and same with Rock and Roller Coaster. So Tower of Terror has a 40-inch height requirement, and it's that classic drop attraction that takes place inside the Hollywood Tower Hotel, where on Halloween night 1939 something spooky happened, and now you must go to the Twilight Zone. The
Twilight Zone.
Number 2, we are done. We are on and off Tower of Terror in about 20 minutes, so that was great. I love that ride. It's got such cool theming, and the queue is awesome. Love that the pre-show is back. Tower of Terror on the thrill level, we're gonna go with a solid 5. I think the theming has a lot to do with that. It's spooky, it's creepy, there's cobwebs, it's dark, and a lot of people are afraid of heights, so that gives it a 5 on the thrill level. As far as the Molly's Fun level, we're gonna have to go 5 too. It's iconic, it's a Tower of Terror, it's a must-do when you're in Walt Disney World. So we gotta give it a solid double 5. Are you ready to rock and roll? Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith, 48-inch height requirement, tallest one that we are gonna do. It is the only attraction in Walt Disney World that goes upside down. It's got 3 inversions, and you're gonna jam out to Aerosmith the entire time. I hope we get a good limo. I'm loving that it's only a 10-minute posted wait. We're gonna go through the regular queue. I considered going through single rider if the line was longer, but no need, it looks like. So we're gonna go through the regular queue. If you've never been on Rock and Roller Coaster, the plot is that you are headed to G-Force Record Studio for a tour of the studio, and wouldn't you know it, Aerosmith is recording while you're at the studio tour, but they got to head out to a concert, but they don't want to leave their fans. You know how they feel about their fans, so why don't we get them some backstage passes? But the only problem is the concert's all the way across town. How are you possibly going to make it? Don't worry, their manager gets you a really fast car. Rock and roller coaster. Whew. Check. I love that attraction. I kind of forget how much I love that attraction, and then I ride it and I'm like, yeah, that one's awesome. It goes 0 to 60 miles an hour in under 3 seconds. It is so much fun, and honestly, don't tell anyone, I like it more than Tower of Terror. I said what I said. Yes, the theming is better at Tower of Terror. Yes, the Imagineering is better at Tower of Terror. But when it comes to a ride system, I want that rock and roller coaster vibe. I want that slingshot takeoff. I want that upside down. I prefer a coaster to a drop, and I think rock and roller coaster is still one of the best. Rock and roller coaster, another 5 on the thrill scale. You're going 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. You're going upside down the only times you're going to go upside down at Walt Disney World. You got music blaring in your ears. Definitely a 5 for thrills here. And it's going to get a 5 on the Molly Fun scale as well. I love that attraction. I think it's a little bit underrated because it's right next to Tower of Terror, but it's a must-do for me. Headed to Galaxy's Edge to do Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run. That is our last attraction besides Rise of the Resistance, which I am sweating a little bit because Rise of the Resistance isn't boarding yet. And the park has been open for about 45 minutes at this point. And when I checked before getting on Rock and Roller Coaster, it still said not boarding in the app. So, not much I can do about that other than wish upon the force that it starts boarding. Is that how the force works? We have made it to the galaxy far, far away. I am on the planet Batuu in Galaxy's Edge. This is the Star Wars land here in Hollywood Studios to do the first of our 2 attractions here, Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run. This is that simulator attraction that puts you in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and it has a 35-minute wait right now, which is not really long, but I think I'm gonna go single rider because I don't care what position I'm getting right now. I would never recommend single rider if you want to do a certain position. There are 3 positions inside the cockpit. You can be the pilot, the gunner, or the engineer. It's pretty much universally agreed that the engineer is the worst position because you just push buttons. But the single rider almost always ends up being the engineer because you're just filling in with other groups. But we're on a mission today, friends, so we're going single rider. Single rider is a thing that they have at certain attractions. They also had it at Rock and Roller Coaster. We'll see it at a couple other attractions today. But it's an alternate entrance for people that are either parties of one or are okay being split into parties of one. And you will just fill in seats with other groups. So if you get in this line with some of your friends or family, just know you will very, very likely not be in the same ride vehicle as them or in the same row as them. But if you've already ridden the attraction or you're trying to get things done quickly, it's usually much, much faster than waiting in the regular queue. I will say on this attraction specifically, I wouldn't recommend it because 1, you'll probably end up being the engineer, and 2, the fun of this attraction is riding it with your friends and family because you can like laugh at how bad your uncle is at being the pilot or like high five your nephew when he is a great gunner versus like riding with strangers. But I'm by myself anyway and we're on a mission, so single rider it is. You also bypass the pre-show if you go single rider, so you won't get to see that very cool Honda Onaka animatronic. So for this one, I definitely recommend waiting in the regular line, especially 35 minutes isn't that long, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? I will definitely say this part right here is the coolest part of the attraction in my opinion. Just being on the Millennium Falcon, seeing the Jared Deek table, going through the doorways, looking around and being immersed in the famous hunk of junk that you saw growing up. This is for me the coolest part of the attraction. The ride vehicle itself is a simulator attraction. It's really fun if you do it with your friends. It's fun being the pilot, but for me, the most cool, awesome thing about this is just being in the Millennium Falcon.
Right pilot, made the jump to light speed.
That's you, Judy! Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run, check. I do think that's a fun attraction, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. You've been wanting to pilot the Millennium Falcon for your whole life. Now you can. I will say, I wish the scenes changed a little bit more and give it a little more re-rideability. Makes me just a scooch motion sick. Millennium Falcon Smugglers run on the thrill level, I'm going to give it like a 2, as a generous 2. I don't think it's very thrilling. I think it's fun, and I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll love it, but I don't think it's necessarily thrilling and scary. On the Molly's Fun level, I'm gonna give it a 3, and if you're with your friends and family, I'm gonna give it a 4 or 5. It really depends who you're with and what position you get. Today, I was with strangers and I was the engineer, so it wasn't as fun as if I was pilot with my whole family or a cockpit of my friends. So definitely varies on that one, but a solid attraction overall. Great news, friends. Rise of the Resistance is back up and running. They've started calling boarding groups. So while I wait for mine to be called, the literal best thing I could do is rope drop my favorite attraction at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Baseline Tap House. It opens up at 10:30. That's just a few minutes from now. We're going to get ourselves some breakfast. It's maybe not what you'd conventionally eat for breakfast, but I've been up since 7 to get a boarding group, and we've already ridden 4 attractions. So who's to stop me? It's Disney World, where your dreams can come true. Baseline Tap House is this awesome little place where I like to come sit and relax, have a light bite. They've got a bunch of craft beers on tap. They've got some wines, other cocktails. They also have some munchies, like a fabulous charcuterie board, a giant pretzel with beer cheese. And it's one of my favorite spots in a park to just come, grab a snack, grab a drink, sit, people watch, relax for a few minutes. Breakfast of Champions, friends. I love this charcuterie board from Baseline Tap House. I scream it from the rooftops. It's only $10, and it's huge compared to a lot of charcuterie boards here that are much more expensive. You got a little bit of thinly sliced aged cheddar. You got some goat, some crostinis, some different meats, stone ground mustard, blue cheese, and grapes. So it's healthy. But honestly, is this not a great breakfast? We got a little protein, we got a little fat, we got a little carb, we got a little fruit. I'm here for it. And then I also grabbed, I love doing the Baseline Tap House flights. You can do single pours of any of their beers, or you can do a flight. You can mix and match and try a bunch of different things. They rotate out their beers. So we're gonna hang out here until my boarding group's called. I love a charcuterie board because it's like a choose your own adventure tale. So like I'm gonna go with a little of the goat because I love goat cheese. And then I'm gonna do a little mustard action. And then I'm gonna throw a little of this meat right there. Boom. Perfect. I love their stone ground mustard here. The charcuterie board is literally one of my favorite foods of all time. I eat it all the time at home, and I think it's nice. I think it's like hearty, but not super over filling either. I thought about getting the pretzel, and I thought about going to get the buffalo grilled cheese at ABC Commissary, but both those things seem really heavy, and we're moving a lot today, so this is perfect. But I do love their pretzel here, so if you're with another person or a couple people, I recommend getting both the pretzel and the charcuterie. It's one of those big pretzels, definitely shareable. All right, this is the Golden State Cerveza, so it's like a Mexican style beer. Light, crisp, tastes like a Dos Equis or a Corona or something. Very good, very nice summery beer. We can hang on to summer for a few minutes if you want to. It's basically always summer here in Orlando anyway. This is the Hefeweizen. This is my favorite one. It's a wheat beer. It's got kind of a banana flavor to it. It's a little heavier than the last one, so I like getting the small pours because it's delicious in flavor, but it's a little heavy on a hot day. Then we've got the Pilsner. Crisp, dry, reminds me of a Heineken a little bit, so not too foreign. They don't have any like domestic or normal kind of beers that people are used to, so that's one if you're used to like drinking domestic beer, I think you'll enjoy that one. Or Heineken, something in there. And then this is their seasonal. This is a Summer Break Saison. Ooh. Okay, so it is an IPA, but because it's a summer IPA, it's got fruitiness. I can definitely taste some citrus. It's not super heavy. In fact, the Hefeweizen feels heavier in my mouth than that one did. So all 4 of these are great. I let the bartender pick, and she did a great job, which I like to do too. Just say, give me 4. And we're going to just enjoy the next 45 minutes. That's what my ETA is for Rise. After a lovely break at Baseline Tap House, got some work done, had a delicious breakfast. My boarding group has been called for Rise of the Resistance, so I'm headed back there now. When your boarding group gets called, you have a window to return in. Typically it's an hour. It used to be 2 hours, but right now it's an hour to come back. So if you're in the middle of a meal or getting in line for another ride, you don't have to worry. You don't have to drop everything and run over there. I wouldn't recommend getting in line for a new ride once your boarding group's been called and heading right. I would head right there, but you do get a little bit of a grace period. If you do think you're going to be past that hour, make sure to screenshot your return time. Be nice to the cast members, and they may let you in just a few minutes late. They understand if you just sat down to a meal or something, you may not be able to get over here within an hour, but try to be as timely as possible so they can call as many guests as possible to come ride this attraction.
One, you're good.
Thank you.
You're in the middle, first left.
So they will scan your park ticket or your magic band when your boarding group is called, so make sure you have that out and ready for them. Rise of the Resistance is definitely the premier attraction at Walt Disney World. It is I don't even want to call it a ride, it is an experience. It is that very immersive Star Wars attraction that puts you inside the battle between the Resistance and the First Order. You're going to join the Resistance and help out Rey and Finn and Poe, but of course things go wrong when Kylo Ren's Star Destroyer sucks you in. It is like multiple different ride experiences, it's multiple different ride systems. It's absolutely incredible, and that's why you have to get a virtual queue to ride it. You can either get one again at 7 a.m. from anywhere or 1 p.m. from inside the park, but you must have a Hollywood Studios boarding group to do either. You need to be timely, friends. You need to set those alarms, be right on it at 7 a.m. and if you don't get one, try again at 1 p.m. I have a new tip for you to make sure you get one. This was not available when the app first opened, but it is available now. And a great way to make sure you're refreshing instead of tapping out and tapping back in is pulling down to refresh. So once you are in that main screen, you can pull down to refresh. So I recommend being in that main screen a few minutes before 7 or 1, and then when it is 7 or 1, pull down and it should refresh, and that Join Now button will pop up. So good luck. May the Force be with you. I hope everyone gets a boarding group. We've got lots of posts about how to, the best chance to get one, because it is a pain, but boy, is it worth it. You know, I have to say it. I got a bad feeling about this. Little tip, both of these sides are open, so a lot of people just tend to follow the person in front of them, but make sure you see which one's actually shorter to get to interrogation. I know you want to get to interrogation faster.
What's that?
Just a thing I have.
A thing you have.
Yep.
We all have things that we have.
Yes.
I hope to destroy that soon.
It's so good. I tear up every time I ride it, and I have pinpointed when it is. It's after Kylo Ren is on the bridge and he turns and he says, "How brave, but ultimately futile," and you leave, and the Rey's theme song and the Star Wars music swells up. That's the minute I tear up every time, even though I've luckily been on this attraction many times. But the first time I rode it, I teared up in the AT-AT room, I teared up in the Stormtrooper room. Like, this ride is... It's like overwhelming how amazing this attraction is, and it's worth all the stress and the hassle of getting a boarding group. For thrill level, now again, we're doing this on a thrill scale, and it's comparing Disney rides to Disney rides. We're not going to factor in stuff at Universal or anything, because obviously a lot of stuff at Universal is much more thrilling than things at Disney. But I would say, as far as like thrill alone, maybe about a 3. The most thrilling part is the one short drop, and then it just is thrilling to like be in there. But on the awesomeness scale, it's like a 5 million probably, because nothing is, you cannot compare it to anything. It's the best attraction Disney's ever built. It's the most immersive experience you'll ever do in a theme park, and it is perfect. Now we have found ourselves in a little bit of a pickle as far as this challenge goes. We are ahead of schedule, which is actually like the best case scenario. because we still have 3 more parks and 10 more rides to do. Right? We did 5 here. Yeah, we did 5 here. We got 15 total. But the problem is it's noon right now and we can't park hop till 2. Sometimes they'll let you in like a few minutes early, but they're definitely not going to let me into our next park 2 hours early. So I'm gonna get coffee and we'll go from there. Well, have a little bit of time to kill. I don't really have enough time to get in line for another ride because what if it breaks down and I don't really have enough time for a show. So I just got small coffee and I thought I would enjoy just a few minutes people watching on Sunset Boulevard, which, you know what, you gotta make time in your Disney vacation just to relax. I normally never get to relax in these challenges, and once we hit park hopping hours, it'll be go, go, go. But for now, also shout out to James at Starbucks, who told me to get cold brew instead of iced coffee and to get no water in it, and it would be more caffeine. So thank you, James. You are the real MVP today. We are bidding adieu to Hollywood Studios. And now some of you might be thinking, but Molly, you didn't ride Star Tours. You cannot be done. But I am going off of Disney's official classifications of what thrill rides are. I went into the app and I found their list of 15 thrill rides. Star Tours isn't included on it because if you include Star Tours, do you have to include Soarin'? Do you include the Barnstormer? What really is a thrill ride? I'm letting Disney decide. They listed 15 on the app as official thrill rides, so those are the 15 we're doing. We were gonna leave, but wait. Hi, Minnie. Hi, Mickey. It would be rude if we didn't say hi. I love when they're up here. I think this is a great spot for a distance meet and greet. All right, but we gotta go. We got more rides to ride. Bye, Mickey and Minnie. I am outside Animal Kingdom about 15 minutes early. I don't think it'll work to let me in yet because park hopping doesn't officially start until 2 o'clock, and again, it's 1:45 right now. So I think it'll go blue if I try and go in right now. I'm gonna try it just in case I get lucky, but I think it's gonna go blue since I'm early. Yep, so I'm gonna wait a few minutes and try again. Okay, now it's about 1:50, so I waited about 5 minutes or so. Let's see if it goes green now. Yay, thank you. So it looks like there's about a 10-minute window that will let you in with park hopping, and we are off to the world of Avatar. If you needed any further proof that this is a slow time of year, Flight of Passage has a 15-minute wait right now. 1-5. I can't believe it either. Navi River Journey has the longest line in the park at 30 minutes for Navi River Journey. So anyway, we're gonna go ride Flight of Passage first because that's literally wild, and I don't want to chance that one getting longer. I have said before, in kind of a hot take, that I think you should hop into DAC. A lot of people start at DAC and then hop out to another park because DAC, Disney's Animal Kingdom, tends to open the earliest, so people get here early, get on Flight of Passage. But especially right now in the slow season, you can come here in the afternoon because so many people start here and then leave. And in the late afternoon, you can get a lot done here with minimal wait times, even when it's not quite this slow. Flight of Passage is that incredible simulator attraction that puts you on the back of a Banshee and allows you to fly over the Valley of Moara in the world of Avatar, everyone's favorite film. I don't know a single person who doesn't just love it. It's just everyone's fave. This attraction does have a 44-inch height requirement, so keep that in mind. One cool thing about this attraction as well, it does have in-queue restrooms. So normally when it has a much longer line, if you need to use the restroom, there's one right there in the middle of the queue. Wow, it has truly been a walk-on. I have not stopped moving this whole time. I'm already headed to get into the link chamber. This is unbelievable.
Welcome to the Avatar program. Soon, you're going to have a chance to undertake an amazing Navi Ride of Passage.
Flight of Passage, check. That really is a very, very fun ride. I'm gonna give it only a 3 though on the thrill factor. It's not super scary. It's almost like soaring. Like it's a big screen and it's very relaxing and beautiful, but it's not super thrilling. There's a few like dips, but it is a simulator. But on the must-do, you gotta give it a 5. It is still just a simulator, and I'm on the record saying I prefer moving like roller coasters and actual physical vehicles as opposed to a simulator, but it is a very neat technology with those bikes, and it's a very, very cool ride, so you gotta do it if you can. And off we go to Dino Land. The next attraction we are tackling is one of my favorites, Dinosaur. This is that Jeep style vehicle that takes you back in time to the age of the dinosaurs to help Dr. Grand Seeker rescue the iguanodon, but spoiler alert, you meet some not so friendly dinosaurs along the way. This one, I will warn you as always, it's only got a 40-inch height requirement, which is lower than some of the other rides here, but it is dark, it is loud. They're big dinosaurs, so your little ones might not love it. Speaking of dark and loud, the sky isn't looking great. I maybe should have gone for the outdoor attractions before this one, but I wanted to end in Asia and on the water ride. Well, let's hope that doesn't come back to bite me.
Commencing in T-minus 10 seconds and counting.
This is Seeker. Listen up. We've got to get in, grab the iguanodon, and get out before that asteroid hits.
Hydrosaur. Raptor.
Time to get serious. Locking autopilot on homing signal now. Computer, full stop. Identify.
Carnotaurus.
Definitely not our dino. Go, go, go!
Oh, Dinosaur. I love you so much. Thrill level, it's a hard 5, maybe more. I truly think as far as like actual thrill scary goes, that may be the scariest, if not just one of the top 3 most thrilling rides at Disney World, because it's loud, it's dark, those dinosaur animatronics are awesome. Kid was screaming in my car, I'm telling you, kids don't always like this one, but I also give it a 5 on the Molly Fun scale. I know a lot of people would put Flight of Passage over this one, but I would actually pick Dinosaur over Flight of Passage. That's a hot take, but I love them. I love it. I love Dinosaur. To be clear, I understand that most people would put Flight of Passage over Dinosaur, but I like a real attraction moving through real sets, and you know, a lot of people don't like that it's so jerky, and it does, you know, you may want to use the chiropractor afterwards. I get that. So I hear you, but I still love it. Those clouds are stressing me out, and I can feel a few drip drops of rain, but so far the outdoor rides are still open. I'm looking at the app, I can hear people going on Everest, so I just need them to stay open just a little longer, because I have to do Expedition Everest and Cali River Rapids, and then we're done with this park. So please hold off just a few more minutes, rain. Excellent news, short line here, otherwise I'd use single rider. But Expedition Everest Legend of the Forbidden Mountain TM is my favorite coaster in all of Disney World. It has a 44-inch height requirement, and in the story here, we are going hiking up the Forbidden Mountain, where locals have warned you that there is a monster in the mountain, the Yeti. So there is all kinds of, this queue is amazing and so incredibly detailed, just like the rest of this land. There's a shrine to the Yeti right here. There's prayer flags. They've painted red, which is used as a color to ward off evil spirits. The Imagineers, I've said this before, went to Nepal, went all over Asia to design this area of the park and make it as authentic as possible. never said that before in my life. Oh, I love that ride though. Expedition Everest, Legend of the Forbidden Mountain TM, so good. Such a great attraction, such a great queue, theming, chef's kiss on all of it. 5 for Thrill and 5 for Molly's must-do list. I know, you're like, Molly, stop giving everything a 5, but we're in Disney World. We're judging things against Disney World, and we've done pretty much all the most thrilling rides at this point. So yeah, that's another 5. I love that coaster. If you're a coaster fan, you got to. But yeah, it's definitely very thrilling. You go backwards, it's in the dark, there's an 80-foot drop. It's wonderful. We are moving and grooving to my not only least favorite ride on this list, but my least favorite ride in all of Walt Disney World. Do you know where we're going? It's time to ride Cali River Rapids. It only has a posted 15-minute wait right now, which is great. I've seen this one get up very, very high, especially when it's warm like today. It has a 38-inch height requirement, and it's a round raft ride, which is one of the big reasons I don't care for it. I do not like getting wet. But beyond that, I find it to be a little too short, a little under-themed, and just, you know, not my fave. That's all right. Everyone can have different faves and not faves. Just look at how wet some of these people are. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I've talked about this before, but I think it's important to say it again. The fact that there are signs that say must wear shoes means that there are people that have taken their shoes off on this ride. And I understand you don't want your socks and shoes wet, because I get it, that's the worst. But also, that's like taking, look, there's another sign. That's like taking your sneakers off on an airplane. Now if you've got slides, all right, I'll give it to you. But your sneakers and your socks? You've been walking around in all that? Oh my goodness. Speaking of what you wear on this attraction, this is not what I wear. I am not ready for a water ride. That's better. Let's go, I guess. Cali gods were not kind to me today. That's why I always wear a full rain jacket, but the bottom of my dress is very wet. My legs are very wet. I'm glad I put on my nice waterproof sandals before coming into this park, because my feet are very wet. But it wasn't even the wettest person in my boat. There were some people getting off there that were completely drenched. So. Anyway, for the ratings, 0 to 5 thrill level, I literally want to give it like a 0.5, maybe a 1. There's like one kind of big drop that's just the one that gets you wet, and then there's a couple little rapids, but it's a very short attraction and they build you up to nothing in my opinion. It's just not for me. It clearly is it's a 0 on the Molly fun scale, because I think it's too short and you could get too wet for not enough thrill. But that's just me. I don't like water rides, and I especially don't care for this particular one. I'm sorry if this is your favorite ride and you love this ride. We all can like different things. This is just not for me. But we are done with Animal Kingdom now, so it's on to the next park. Thank you. Hello, beautiful. We have made it to park number 3, and you might be thinking, hey Molly, why wouldn't you go to Magic Kingdom where there's more attractions you have to get done versus the 2 at Epcot? And I would say to you, I want to ride the monorail to Magic Kingdom and not deal with parking at the Transportation and Ticket Center. So if I park at Epcot, I can knock these 2 out, hop on the monorail, and get over to MK, which will save me a lot of time. First up, we are going to Test Track. It only has a 30-minute posted wait, but there is a single rider line we're going to take advantage of. Test Track is definitely the most popular thrill ride in Epcot of the 2. And it's definitely one of the most popular rides in all of Epcot. It has a 40-inch height requirement. Single rider, again, is going to split you up from your party. And in this attraction, you're not going to be able to design the sim car, which is one of the highlights of this attraction for some people. The plot of Test Track is that you are going to design a car and then test it out on the sim track, which is the Tron track. It basically looks like Tron. And your car is going to be put through a series of tests to see how well your car performs. Sometimes single riders do get to use the design stations and just pick one of like several pre-made cars, versus when you do the actual thing, you get to like design it from the ground up. So I'm just going to select what's most important to me. I'm going to say efficiency. Let's care about the environment. Select a vehicle. Green, Slytherin. Team Slytherin. And that's my car. So I'm going to... Alright, we're all set. Let's go to vehicle testing. Look at this. Single rider. We are bypassing all of these people. Single rider, I definitely think, is better at some attractions than others. For me, this attraction is definitely one I like riding single rider, because I am not too worried about designing a car unless I'm with other people. In that case, I like to kind of compete to see who can design the best car. But if you're just by yourself, or you've just ridden it, or you've got kids that don't care about that and they just want to go fast in a car, single rider is the way to go. But again, remember, they're going to split your party up. You are very likely not going to ride next to the people you came with. Make sure when you get up here to tap your band right there so that your car links up. There's my car, and we're ready to go.
Fun right here.
We'll begin with the capability test to see how your vehicle designs perform. Let's see how your designs hold up now.
Commencing sim car off-road and extreme weather sequence.
About Test Track. If you're a little kid and you don't drive a car every day, it probably is really thrilling. My nephews love this. Most kids I know love Test Track. But for me, as an adult human who drives a car almost every day of my life, as Duckfist said on RTT, my car can go that fast. I probably drove that fast getting to Epcot. Not getting to Epcot. Oh my gosh, can you imagine I drove that fast when Epcot does? No, I probably drove that fast getting to Disney World today. So for me, that's definitely not a must-do. It's fine, but I wouldn't personally wait a really long time for it. I prefer Old Test Track as well. So the only, let's see. I'm gonna give it like a 3.5 for thrill level. Because the outside part is kind of thrilling when you bank, but you're going as fast as a car goes every day. And most of it isn't thrilling. And then I'm going to give it a 3 for a must-do, for a fun level from my point of view. I think a lot of people would put this as a must-do. But for Molly, it's not super high on my personal list. Our final attraction in Epcot, Mission Space. This is that simulator attraction that puts you inside a capsule and sends you to space. This is definitely the most nauseating attraction in the list, in my opinion, and probably most people's opinions, because they simulate spaceflight, and it is intense, not gonna lie to you. There are 2 different sides to this attraction. There is an orange mission, more intense, and a green mission, less intense. Orange has a 44-inch height requirement. Green only has a 40-inch height requirement. On the orange mission, you're going to Mars. On the green mission, you are going to circle Earth. The orange mission spins like the whole thing spins. Think of an octopus spinning around with a bunch of different arms versus just it's simulating and moving a little bit. The whole thing spins to create G-forces. So it is, I mean, it is something. It is intense. But we're doing a Thrill Ride Throwdown challenge, which means I guess I gotta ride orange, right? The thing about this attraction is they are gonna tell you 57 times that it's intense, and it is almost as stressful as the ride itself. But on this one, if you are not sure if you're gonna like this, I highly, highly recommend riding the green side first and then the orange side, because the orange side is very, very intense. The way that it spins you and recreates those G-forces. Like I said, they worked with NASA. It took them over 5 years to figure out the technology for this ride, and it's the only attraction in Disney World to provide barf bags. So this, shockingly, has been like the longest wait I've had all day. This probably was a true 15, maybe even a little bit more wait to get into the pre-show, and now I am ready to get my assignment.
First stage separation and manual
Check.
control.
Manual.
Loading flight plan.
First step. Left, right, center. Roll pitch, y'all.
Engineer, just a
Inactive
reminder,
diagnostic.
you will
Activated.
activate
Capcom over and
hypersleep
out.
and
This
extend
is
the wings.
Molly Lightyear coming in hot from the lunar Mars missile. Roll pitch, yeah. We are ready to rumble.
We have main engine start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Mission control, the tower is clear. They're all yours. Mission control to Mars 2. You and go. Throttle up. Rise and shine. Let's go, team. We've got a problem.
Beginning evasive maneuver.
This meteor storm is directly over your Mars landing site.
Runway ends in 1,000 feet. 200.
Watch the barrier. Pull back.
I forget how nauseating orange is because I try not to ride it. Man, that is intense because of the spinning. So for thrill level, I don't know, is it thrilling? Like, it's nauseating. It's incredible technology. I say that every time. I'm very impressed with the technology. I wish it didn't make me nauseous because it's a very cool attraction. So thrill level, I guess it's a 5. I mean, it's intensity factor, it's a 5 on orange. Thrill, it's probably a 3. Like, it's not that thrilling as like going upside down, but it's a 5 for intensity for sure. And for a must-do, it's like very low on my must-do list because the worst thing to me is to feel motion sick, and that ride makes me very, very motion sick. So I think if you're a kid and you don't get motion sick, or you do it at the end of the night, it would be about a 3 or a 4 for me. As far as must-dos go, a 4 is too high. We'll give it a 3. It's definitely not something I prioritize when I come to Epcot, but you should do it at least once because the technology is very cool. And we're done with Epcot. We've got one more park. 4 rides, 3 of which are outside, and an angry sky. But fingers crossed we can make it happen. Bye, Epcot. Thanks for existing. Sorry I didn't get to do the fun stuff here today. And by fun stuff, I mean food and wine, obviously. The Epcot Monorail recently reopened, so you can use this as transportation to the Magic Kingdom. You will have to transfer at the Transportation and Ticket Center, but then it will take you right to the front of the park, versus if I were to drive over to Magic Kingdom, I'd have to park at the Transportation Ticket Center, walk all the way up to where the monorail or ferry boat is. It will take as long, if not longer, and I like riding the monorail, so let's do it. The good news is we made it to Magic Kingdom. The bad news is it started raining. It's not terrible yet. The sky doesn't look good. So I'm gonna knock out as many of the outdoor attractions as I can first. in case they close for weather.
Arabic, French, and some Spanish.
Thank you. Well, here we are in Frontierland. I had planned on doing Splash Mountain last because one, that would mean I was getting wet last, but also because it's really cool at night when you can see the castle. But then it started raining, so I put my rain outfit on, which coincidentally is also my Splash Mountain outfit. And it stopped raining, but it doesn't look like it's going away, so I fear the outdoor attractions will close at some point due to weather tonight, and I don't want to risk that. Also, Splash Mountain's a fickle beast, and it closes for technical difficulties a lot, so I don't want to risk that either. So we're gonna knock Splash and Thunder out of the way first. Right now, Thunder has a 20-minute wait. Splash has a 15-minute wait. I'm not kidding you, friends. The only reason I'm being this successful so far is because this is a very, very slow time of year. Back to school just started. It's not the 50th yet. I think some people that are coming are saving their trip till the 50th, and those extravaganza comes on. And also Delta. I think those are all big factors as to why the parks are not very crowded right now, because this literally would be impossible if wait times were what they were this summer. Splash Mountain, a beloved classic. It's the flume ride attraction here in Frontierland. It's a 40-inch height requirement. Where do I go even? What is happening? Oh, I hear thunder. This is bad. This is bad. Most of this attraction is not very thrilling or intense, but there is a very large drop at the end, which 50-foot drop is always fun. I did just hear thunder though, so I'm afraid they're gonna shut this down. At least I think it was thunder. Fingers crossed. They're still loading, which means either that wasn't thunder or there's not lightning close enough, because the reason they close attractions in inclement weather is lightning. Hello, just one. Okay, sure. So there must not be lightning in a radius near the rides, because that's how they figure that out. And that means we're going to be able to get at least Splash done, it looks like, before the weather. Splash Mountain, check. It started pouring as I was on the ride, which, how delightful. I was already getting wet. It's fine. I didn't get that wet thanks to Molly's foolproof water ride gear. I'm going to give Splash Mountain a 3 on the thrill factor. The one big drop is definitely thrilling and fun and exciting, but most of it is just like a whimsical ride with characters and nice music. I'm very excited to see what they do with it with Princess Tiana when they do that. We don't know when that's happening, but the ride system's staying the same, so that's one big drop, which is what people like. For thrill factor is staying the same. Hi there. But as far as Molly's must-do list, I think most people would give Splash Mountain a 5. I think Splash Mountain is definitely a must-do for a lot of people. It's a fan favorite, and I'm cool with it being 5. I personally would drop it to like a 4 because I just don't like water rides that much. But it's Splash Mountain. You got to do it. We have about 3 hours of park time left, but my fear has come true, and it has lightninged close enough to the area that they had to close all the outdoor attractions. And 2 of the remaining 3 that we have to do are outdoors. We need to do Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which Seven Dwarfs Mine Train's been closed since I walked into the park. So that means that is having technical difficulties, and it's not just closed for weather, which is concerning. Space Mountain is the only non-outdoor ride we have left. So I'm gonna head that way, even though it is maybe a terrible idea, because when the outdoor attractions all close, the indoor attractions all get very, very long lines because everybody has to go somewhere. But I see a nice, plenty of sunshine heading my way. There's a hole of blue. But I just don't like the idea of standing around and waiting for this to all go away and Thunder to open back up. So we're gonna go ride Space. I may wait a little longer than I would have if the outdoor rides hadn't closed, but I just hate the idea of just standing around. Made it to Tomorrowland, hopped in line for Space Mountain. As I predicted, the line is long, but it still is a posted 10-minute wait, and they haven't set up the extended queue outside, so it looks a lot longer than it is. My guess is gonna be that it is maybe longer than 10 minutes, but I don't think it's gonna be too long, because it seems like it's moving at a fairly steady clip. But we'll see. And hopefully, because the weather's clearing up by the time I get off of this, the outdoor rides will be open again. Space Mountain is an iconic Disney attraction, opened here in 1975 in the Magic Kingdom. It has a 44-inch height requirement, and this is that roller coaster through the dark amongst the stars, and it is awesome. I adore this attraction. I think it's one of my favorites on the list today. It's definitely one of my favorites in Magic Kingdom, and it's old school, but it's still really, really fun, and I think a great ride, and I'm excited to go on it now.
Shuttle, this is flight safety. Keep your hands up and hands over inside the vehicle and remain seated while
Space Mountain so much. It makes me giggle every time because it's just so fun, and it reminds me of being a kid. I remember riding this one as a little kid and loving it then, and I love it now. It's definitely my favorite of the Magic Kingdom Mountains. So for the thrill level, I would give it a 4. It is in the dark. You're sitting alone, which I know stresses a lot of people out, especially kids, because their parent or somebody's not right next to them. And it does have some surprising dips and jumps, and you're going to raise out of your seat. So I would give it about a 4. Definitely the most intense one in Magic Kingdom. For Molly's must-do, you know it's a 5. You know I adore this one, and if you can, gotta ride Space. The good news. As of this moment, the outdoor attractions have reopened. The great news, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad has a posted 20-minute wait. The bad news, I just heard of thunder again. And the worst news, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train has yet to reopen, which means it's having technical difficulties still, and it's not just closed for weather. So I'm keeping an eye on Mine Train, and I'm gonna work my way back to Frontierland all the way back across the park again. Because I gotta do Thunder and Mine Train, and that's it. But Mine Train could ruin everything. The good news is there's like a little over 2 hours of park time left, and that might be slow, but I'm not seeing any of the outdoor attractions closing yet, except for, of course, Mine Train still being closed. So I'm scurrying in hopes of getting on Thunder. As you can see, it has started raining quite a bit, but I looked at the radar. Make sure you get yourself a good weather app while you're here, AccuWeather or the weather app. And it looks like there's going to be a window in not too long, and then it's going to start again around 9, which is what time the park closes. So let's just hope that that window opens up. Let's hope that it opens up enough for them to open up the outdoor attractions, and let's hope Mine Train, whatever's going on over there, works itself out. But I'm waiting right here for now, hoping it'll open up, and then I will keep checking the app, and once I see Mine Train or Thunder open, I'm dashing. All right, the rain has mostly stopped, but I still heard a little thunder in the distance, and all the outdoor attractions are still closed. But because I'm having like a little bit of break in the pouring, I'm gonna move closer to Big Thunder Mountain and hope it opens up real quick. Look how high the Rivers of America is right now because of all this rain. It's been raining like every day per usual. It's Florida in the summer, but it's been doing it in the afternoon and a lot of times in the evening as well, just like monsooning in the evenings. So I'm really hoping we get this done. They're testing logs at Splash. That's a good sign. Unless they're still cycling them out from when it closed. I'm gonna go with it's a good sign. Let's think positively here, friends. Everything remains closed right now that's outdoors, even though it has stopped raining, but you can hear that thunder and it still looks gloomy over yonder, so I'm just waiting for it to move out. As a friendly reminder, be nice to the cast members when it rains. I just watched several people be very rude to the cast member standing outside of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad because she had to tell them it's closed. It's obviously not her fault the ride's closed. So I know a lot of people get confused when it's not raining like right now and they're like, why can't I ride the ride? It has nothing to do with rain. It has to do with lightning in the area. There's a radius around the parks, and if lightning is in within that radius, they have to close until there isn't lightning anymore. So it's for your safety and the cast members' safety. So the rain has cleared. The attractions are open again, or they're starting to open. I was standing right there at the entrance of Big Thunder Mountain, and the cast member got the call and they said, we're open. And she was like, get it, girl, you can be first in line. So here I am, headed into Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. This is a 40-inch height requirement. It's a runaway train roller coaster. It is super cute, super fun, super Disney. It is just like quintessential. I remember riding this as a kid, and it is so, so much fun. Woo, baby, back row and everything. This is about to be great.
Remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train, and be sure to watch your kids.
Yeah, solo train party. I got my own train on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which wasn't a dream I knew I had until just now, and it came true. And I got to ride in the back row, which is scientifically proven to be the best row on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad because you slip and slide a lot more. You also slip and slide a lot more when the cars are wet. So thrill level, that time was like a 5 because it was me by myself just screaming and laughing, zipping all over the place. But I would say normally about a 3 to a 3.5 maybe. I think it really depends on where you're sitting. The back is a 3.5, the front's a 3. Because you really zip around more in the back because you're like the tail of a snake. As far as Molly's must-do list, obviously this is a number 5. This is a fan favorite. This is one of my favorite rides. I think it gets a little bit underrated between Space and Splash, but don't sleep on Thunder. It was chef's kiss. And now Mine Train's open, so we gotta go. We have arrived at our final hurdle. Seven Doors Mine Train has opened. Whatever technical difficulties it was having seem to be done. It has a posted 40-minute wait, so the only things that could ruin our life right now are if it starts raining or lightning again in the area, or if it has more technical difficulties. Again, a posted 40-minute wait. I don't know if it'll take that long, but I certainly hope it does not have any issues and that we get to ride it and complete the challenge. Seven Doors Mine Train is a very cool family coaster, which is going to take you into the mine at the Seven Doors. It's part dark ride, part thrill ride, but what's really cool about it is that the cars swing side to side like mine cars. It's got a 38-inch height requirement, and it is definitely one of the most popular attractions in all of the Magic Kingdom. So it usually has the longest line. So we are inside. I've been in line for about 5 or 10 minutes, so definitely not moving anymore, but it probably won't take up to 40, hopefully. But it hasn't moved for a few minutes, which is scaring me. It's been about 20 minutes, and my chariot awaits. Mine Train, that was our last attraction. It was about a 20-minute wait. I feel like that attraction is so cute, and I don't ride it that often because it usually is a super long line, but every time I do ride it, I'm smiling, I'm laughing. I like that it's half dark ride, half thrill ride, and like Slinky Dog, it's a little more like oomph than it looks like, especially if you sit in the back like I did. So for thrill level, I'm gonna give it like, again, a 2.5 or 3 like Slinky Dog. It's definitely not as thrilling as the other mountains here, and it's definitely not as thrilling as some of the other coasters we've done, but it is a fun coaster, and it's got a little bit of kick to it. And as far as my fun rating goes, I wouldn't tell most people to prioritize it over like Space or Big Thunder, or even Splash, because I feel like you should do the classic mountains. So I would give it a 5, but with like an asterisk, like a 4.7, unless you've already done the other mountains. For me, I would do the other mountains first if I'm prioritizing things in the park. But this is a great attraction. It's super cute. Love the animatronics. Great way to end the night. Love those swinging cars. Oh my gosh. Well, friends, we did it. All 4 theme parks at Walt Disney World, all 15 thrill rides in just one day. I truly did not think it would be possible. I thought for a while the rain was going to mess us up, rise downtime, but you know what? We were able to do it because there's really not a lot of crowds right now. So I think if we tried this again in a few weeks, it would not be as successful, but I'll always take advantage of a low crowd day. Hopefully you had fun following along and learning some tips and tricks about these different thrill rides. What's your favorite thrill ride down in the comments? Having ridden every single thrill ride in Walt Disney World today, it's hard to narrow it down to a favorite. I gotta say Rise of Resistance, the best creme de la creme. That's gotta be the favorite. But I also love Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Space Mountain, Expedition Everest Dinosaur. There are some great and awesome thrill rides here at Walt Disney World. So definitely share yours down in the comments. What other challenges do you have for me? Let me know those as well. In the meantime, friends, make sure to rate, review, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media at AllEars.net. And until next time, I'm Molly, and it's been magical and thrilling.
Want to see more of my videos? Click over here. Want to subscribe? You can do that right here. And also, ring that notification bell to make sure you get instantly notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for following. See you real soon.